So today I want to talk about an excuse that is commonly used, an excuse that I used myself over and over and over for years, and that is that the reason my health is the way that it is because of my genetics. I was born with bad genetics, and that's just what made me this way. And I don't agree with it anymore. There are things that genetics do play a factor in your health. For example, how big your bone structure is and how easy or hard it is for you to put on fat, or how easy or hard it is for you to put on muscle, things like that, as well as like if you're more likely to have cardiovascular problems, things like that. But we can take precautions to combat those things, kind of, as far as like the medical things that we're more likely to get, I guess, than other people. For example, my dad, he had so many heart problems and heart attacks and surgeries and stuff. And that's ultimately how he died. And so, and other people in my family also have had like high blood pressure. I've had high blood pressure, things like that. And so genetics to some degree does play a factor in that, just because we are given some of those health things that our previous generations have had. However, I do not believe that genetics will make you obese. I believe that was an excuse that I used for years. But what really caused me to become obese was I didn't work out. I didn't move my body. I overate. I struggled with binge eating, and I would use food in order to numb my emotions and to just, I guess, fill the cracks in my body. I don't know. But all of those things are what caused me to be obese. It wasn't because I was born with the genetics that I was born with. And a good example of that is that when I put the work in, and since I started putting the work in, I have been able to lose 60 pounds, and I am so much healthier now than what I was then. And as I continue on my journey and I continue to become healthier, genetics gave me both of those bodies. It gave me the 296-pound body. It's given me my now 235-pound body. It also gave me the body that I had 10 years ago that was under 200 pounds. So genetics does play a role and a factor in certain things, but not in your obesity. I believe that anybody who is fueling their body correctly, meaning they are consuming a balanced diet of carbohydrates, proteins, fats, and who is moving their body on a regular basis. People who are striving to put on muscle, people who are putting the work in, they're not going to be obese. And so genetics, yes, gives us our bodies, but we get to choose what we do with those genetics. And how much work we're willing to put in is going to be the outcome or the result that we have. Yeah, so it's not genetics for you to be obese. You're not predestined to be obese. It's all about the choices that we make, and whatever is important to you is the choice that you're going to make. And it's hard. It's hard to be obese, and it's hard to exercise and to gain knowledge and information on proper diet and balanced diet. And it's hard to find a situation where you're eating foods that you love and still able to lose weight. And that is kind of that sweet spot that I feel like I've discovered. I still get to eat amazing, amazing food. Tonight I had Elise Ellis's macaroni and cheese from her macro-friendly food recipes. It's so good. I love it. My kids all love it. Um, and yeah, so I get to eat really good food. I just understand better, um, I guess, the balance between proteins, carbohydrates, and fats. And I move my body more. My grandpa has a little note on his refrigerator that says motion is lotion. And it's so true. I feel like when I was 296 pounds and I mean, I'm a hairstylist, so I was on my feet a lot, but I wasn't moving a ton. Um, that I was stiff all the time and I was constantly in pain. And the more that I move my body, the easier it is for me to move my body and to be up and moving around without feeling like sore and stiffness and pain. I do get soreness when I'm like lifting, but that's normal. And it's not nowhere near as bad as when I first started lifting, which is a plus. You have to get past that kind of initial soreness to get to like a soreness that you can handle, which is hard, but totally worth it. Anyway, so yeah, I just came on to say that that's an excuse that I used for years. And so if that's an excuse that you've been using, maybe reevaluate other choices in your life that you're making and decide or determine what choices you can do differently in order to work with your genetics to produce a healthy body. So that's all we can do. We don't get to choose what genetics we're born with, but we do get to choose what we do with those genetics. And moving our bodies and putting the work in to gain an understanding of proper balanced meals and proper balanced diet and all of those things that help us to become healthier will help you get to that healthy body day by day. So keep it up.